Vlog 1, Tournament Poker and Pain. So I didn't want the first vlog to be about me losing a tournament, but unfortunately it is. I think it's important to show the ups and downs. Tournament poker, you lose a lot of the time. So we were in this tournament for 4 bullets, $600, and just never got anything going. So on the last bullet, we got a little bit going, so I'm going to share 2 hands from that. The third bullet we actually got 13 left, but only 6 bagged. So this is a couple hands from the last bullet, and hope you enjoy them. Make sure that you finish the video. Credit card roulette at the end, so pretty funny.
Okay, so in this hand, we started to implement a limping strategy, and we decided to limp 3-5 of spades. After under the gun limps have a history of raising an under the gun lead on a flop and then having to fold when he jammed. So I want to play pots with him. I didn't necessarily feel like he was the greatest. And after I limp button, small blind completes, big blind checks, and we see a flop of 3-3-6. He checks to me. I think I want to be checking back here. I couldn't really find a ton of bets, so I went ahead and checked, and the turn was queen of clubs. Checks under the gun, who leads for 2.2k. Now I think I can start to try to build a pot. I decided to raise, given that I had raised him earlier and shown the capability to raise bluff, folding to his all-in. So I did decide to raise. I wanted to raise a little bit on the smaller side, just to keep in some of his sixes. I made it 5.8k. Queen did bring a backdoor flush. Wasn't too concerned about it. He did decide to flat, and the river brings the 4 clubs. I think he would lead with most flushes. So when he checks, I felt that it was a pretty clear value bet. I think with any of his queens, I can size up, and it's kind of a situation where if he's going to call anything reasonable. So I decided to go for a full pot bet. I bet 17k, and he called and then mucked. Okay, so I think this is probably the most interesting hand I played, although I do think that I misplayed it. We get 4-5 off in the big blind, and a competent cutoff min raises. I decided to defend. I'm okay folding. I think typically I do fold, but I was trying to make something happen. Was really trying to get some chips in this tournament after struggling, and I decided to call and take a flop with him. I think he's going to play somewhat passive versus me just because we have a history. So when he raises, I call, and we see a flop of 5-5-10. I don't think that I should have many check raises here. Therefore, I think leading is best. So I think that's really where I messed this hand up. I think by leading, I keep in all of his underpairs from the 10 to not checking back when I check, and then his jacks plus potentially raising, and then making it a lot easier for me to get it in. I decided to check call the 5k. So on the turn 3 of hearts, I think I just have another check. I'm kind of repping like a lot of ace highs, and I think he'll continue to bet, which he does. He bets 8k, and I decided to call again for the same reason. I can't really find a check raise, so we decided to call, and then going to lead most rivers, pretty much any river except for the 10, which is what comes. Handcuffs me a little bit, uh, actually a lot, into having to just check call, and he's just going to check back like a ton of the time, so there's not really anything that we can do. Once we check, he checks back 8-8. So hand was pretty interesting. I think it's an amazing spot to lead flop, and I think I kind of botched it.
And to show that the week wasn't a complete loss, I threw in a fun cash game hand from yesterday's session. I only played 118 hands, but it was a decent session. We won around $500. So I'll throw in this fun hand, and it's just a spot where you gamble. I probably won't go super into depth, but maybe in the future I will with some of these other games. I still need to figure out a way to edit it and protect the players for privacy. So it should get better in the future. Bear with me, I'm still learning all the editing tools. Hope you enjoy it.
So in this hand, without going into too much detail, I was towards the bottom of my range for taking a flop. And then once we saw the flop, I thought I was in a pretty good spot to be pretty much flipping at worst. I didn't see a lot of combos that had me crushed with the double gutter to the nut high and then a pretty decent flush draw. I'm perfectly fine getting it in here. I think I'm 50-50 most of the time. And it's a good spot to gamble and hopefully free roll for a 3/4, which is ultimately what happened, and we won an $1,100 pot. So it wasn't all doom and gloom for the weekend.
The last one will pay the check, so whatever you pull out, safe.
Oh, we'll feel so good though. I mean, we try
do it
to.
often.
Really?
Unless somebody doesn't have any money, and then
What if someone gets picked like 3 times in a row?
He's due to lose.
He hasn't lost.
I'm due to lose.
He's
I haven't
due
lost
to
in
lose.
months. It's been like
Alright.
3 hours. So like, if you choose me, be happy about it. I'll appreciate it.
You had
I
anything?
need.
always
I
said
need.
that.
Yeah, right? Am I not paying the check and everything? I'm so good. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely
This is
him.
it. Alright,
Yeah.
this is it. Oh my god, I'm so
One at a
excited.
time. So the first one's safe. So whoever you draw is safe. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
first
The
three
last
are
one out.
safe.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, so you just pulled
So
three
you're
out.
happy. Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm talking about. It's mine.
That's mine.
Oh, okay.
This is the first time. No.
God dang it.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go, baby.
It's definitely me.
No.
It's definitely it has to be, right?
No, Drake's
You're
gonna
so
lose for
due.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But look, you made 3 people extraordinary.
And you're the one recording too. It's like
I
entertaining.
know, yeah. Unreal.